everyone. Welcome to the May 26th edition of Trips and Traps, a hot, steamy morning, more reminiscent of the dog days of July before we head to Saratoga. We got a lot to talk about today, Ernie.
We do. Many races, mostly grass sprints. But I want to talk to you about how difficult they are to watch and to bet horses on.
And how difficult they are to ride. By the way, I'm Richard Migliore. This is Ernie Munick, and this is Trips and Traps. Let's jump right into the pool here and go to May 20th, race 7. And we're looking at number 5, Mags Amelia, usually a front runner, Ernie.
Yeah, that's key right here with this mare because she's not used to making any sort of sustained run, and so she's already in trouble, right out of the gate.
Broke a step slow, kind of got dealt a bad hand, and I thought Joe Bravo did a good job, and I actually thought that maybe for this mare it was going to work out because she tends to hang a little bit.
Mig, it's amazing you just said that, and it's the second time today where you said something that I also had written down. We're on a similar wavelength. But I just want to say, Mig, in a situation like this, you see Joe Bravo now is still in last, but he didn't panic and he didn't rush. Is that the way to handle these situations?
Well, absolutely. Once you've gotten off poorly, you're in a compromising position. Now you have to be cool and try to work things out. Now, he saved a lot of ground. He's got a ton of horse. He's going to choose to angle out. And at one point, it looks like it's going to work out because it looks like he's going to run by the field. Now, I know Desert Bliss just inside of him here. Some people felt this horse had a trip. I thought that horse actually had a decent enough trip. I don't think she had a steady. She had to wait and come out. But on turf racing, she had her opportunity to really finish. I thought Mags Amelia was home and cooled out at this point. But then she did her best imitation of a chandelier.
That's it. And the thing is, though, Mig, not a total surprise because with a 3 for 27 lifetime record, there have been elements of unwillingness to win before. She is a tricky horse to follow, but there's no doubt under the right circumstances she can beat this field.
Well, here's my problem with this filly and my question to you. I believe she deferred to the other horses, allowed them to win. Now, she did have a compromising trip, no doubt about that. But she was 95 cents on the dollar this day, and she still hung in spite of the trip. Do you want her next time? And again, would it be probably even a shorter price off of that trip?
Unless she moves up a little in class. That's the only thing. Now, and of course, you talk about it all the time. Sometimes they are traps. But it's still, it's interesting to me when we have a horse. She beat that 2 to the spot turning for home. She has some run. Sure. Got to be timed right. And now she's back with Nick Essler, who I think was waiting to get her back. She had used, she had been with him before, claims him again. Let's see if she can make a little progress. I understand what you're saying.
Well, here's what I think. I think this is a horse that had a trip, but she's a trap.
That's it. We will have to see.
Maybe use her underneath in exotics if she steps up in class to get any kind of price.
That's what you're going to need to do because I think you're right. If she runs back in this class, she's going to get bet.
Yeah. Let's turn the page, move on to May 21st, race 4. A lot to talk about in this race, and we're going to keep an eye on number 1 and number 2, First Charmer and Riot Worthy. Right out of the starting gate, they're going to get into some trouble about within an eighth of a mile out of the gate. You can see that's Riot Worthy just outside the 1 in the blue. Riot Worthy with the pink with the blue sleeves.
Mig, if you can rate trips on a star system, this is a 5-alarm trip. Maybe for both. The 1 you see is right now checked right there. The 2 is out of control. I don't know where to begin. Where do I begin?
Well, we're going to go back and watch this race in its entirety, the head-on. But there you saw the 1 check. You saw the 2 kind of running off check. And the 2 with Angel Arroyo was checking, I think, to save the 1 from really getting put into the fence. But then when you watch the head-on, it wasn't as dramatic as it appeared on the pan. Now, at this point, Riot Worthy has middle moved wide into the teeth of the race. They go a half and 44 and 2, and now after checking, all that problem down the back, so she's up on the pace.
Yes.
First Charmer's still pretty far back, which was the right thing. You know, she was in trouble, and then she was patiently handled by Junior Alvarado. I have questions about Junior's decision-making going forward, though.
It's interesting you pointed out about Riot Worthy because the pace was fast enough in a situation like this where the better trip, at least pace-wise, is for First Charmer because it had less work to do. The 2 was moving into that faster pace. But there was so much trouble involved, and the way they still had some run at the end. First Charmer is still finishing despite the checks early on, the 2 as well. It's a race that needs to be watched multiple times, Nick.
Multiple times, no doubt. Now, we're going to watch the head-on, and you're going to see there is movement from the outside horses forcing them towards the rail. And, to me, we're going to have to go back to the starting gate, and we'll watch that from there, guys.
Yeah, let's go back to the start if we can, because you can see the pink silks now inside is actually going to come out and finish okay.
Actually, which feed are we on, guys? Because we seeing one thing in the monitor with the telestrator. Okay. So we're going to let it run from here? Okay. Now, we're going to keep an eye on the 1 and the 2. Now, you're going to see the outside horses are going to start to fold over, the winner rather abruptly there. But now everybody straightens up. Now, there's not a lot of wiggle room. Now, you're going to see Angel Royal check out of the spot there, while Junior Alvarado still had room. Now, to be fair to Junior, you've got to anticipate they're going to keep coming. So, it's like defensive driving. You see someone changing lanes in the parkway, you don't know if they're going to keep coming or not. Once she checked out of the spot, I think he felt like he made a mistake. The chart reads interesting, not fully asked. And that was my question going forward, that it didn't seem like he really showered down on her and rode her hard. Now, was it a function of, well, I've already kind of messed it up. Things have gone wrong. She's coming off a layoff. There's no way she can win after this trip. I don't know, but it certainly feels like he could have rode her a little harder through the stretch.
You would think that. Mig, I never know what's going inside a jockey's head, what a jockey is feeling underneath him or underneath her. He asked her a little bit there, but you can see, as you said, there's a feeling of resignation and that we can come back to play another day. Because you can see right now mild hand riding is behind the yellow silks right now in the pink, and still looks around, kind of lifts the stick a little bit, then comes out here and finishes okay. Never felt the stick through the lane.
Well, it seems to me like that she finished under her own courage, so to speak. Now, I understand as a former rider, things happen in a race, and you do get frustrated and discouraged. I think in this case, though, I think Junior would like to have a couple things to do over. One, maybe not check as severely as he did on the backstretch, and I think he owes it to the connections of this horse, who I think did a good job having this horse prepared, and the betting public to ride a little more vigorously through the stretch. I just think that was a case of somebody getting frustrated with circumstances.
Can sometimes make the start of a race that can be so eventful that could possibly throw off your vibe for the remainder of the race?
Oh, no doubt.
Are you thinking about a jockey? Are you angry at the jockey next to you? Are you thinking, is my horse okay? All these things play into the ultimate finish of the stretch.
100%. But you're a professional, and your professionalism has to overrule all of that other stuff. You have a job to do. As much as everything could go wrong, you're the one. It's like a pilot could be in the eye of the storm. You're the one who's got to have good judgment and make the right decisions.
I see, because also keep in mind, there are people betting superfectus and so on and so forth, and forget even win bets.
And in this day and age, with all the camera angles and all the technology and how easy it is to pull up replays, things like this are going to be scrutinized, and you have to keep that in mind. I'm sure this is one Junior would like to have over.
Yeah, and the chart correlers certainly did an excellent job documenting what happened in the race.
Absolutely. Very observant there. Let's go to the same day. Race 8, another sprint on the turf. And these sprints on the turf definitely lend themselves to trips. Let's keep an eye on number 1, Katie Ice. And I'm going to be downright critical of the ride by Irad Ortiz Jr. here. You got post 1 on a horse that's favored. You have to leave with intention. You can't break and look around and let everybody else dictate your position, and I feel like he didn't do this filly justice and get his position going forward. If anything, he basically got shuffled out of position.
It was a long, slow shuffle. Now, maybe 10 seconds ago, I saw him shake his fist and his Mig. Is it possible? I'm playing devil's advocate with you, of course. There's not enough there. I don't feel it. I'm gonna drift back.
But when you watch that replay there, you don't see any intention to go forward.
Not leaving the gate, no.
You got to leave the gate with a plan, and that's about preparation. Understanding, first of all, you're the favorite, so you already got an X on your back. People are aware where the favorite is always. Good riders do anyway. I'm post 1 on a New York bred filly. I'm not expecting her to come home in 22 and change. I've got to get my position going forward and not give her too much to do. I don't think he left there with a plan. I don't think he was prepared, and I don't think he gave this filly her best chance at showing her best run.
And you can see on the turn and through the lane, there really wasn't one long stretch of clearance for her to do her best running. She looked like she was going to come out, then she ended up coming back in. The problem with her, as you pointed out before, which is a good point, the price is not going to be. It's just an interesting thing to follow, and what you might be looking for in a rider, which is being a more aggressive ride for the right type of horse.
I think having post 1 almost simplifies things for you. I've got the rail. I have to be aggressive. Maybe if you're an outside post, you go, well, how am I going to fit in? How am I going to get back? We're going to watch our last replay. I think is a perfect example of that. This is a case of where I'm post one. I can't just say I'm on the best horse and she'll get there. You're not helping your horse win that way.
So even if you're on a horse whose maybe inclination is not to go, whose best style may be from off the pace, you still want to get position leaving out of there.
Come out running, make the real speed, spread the field out, and now at least you're in position to win. You can't expect horses are that good they're going to overcome that much of a trip and that much ground.
You know, these turf sprints are very difficult for me because I'll often see trips, but when they come back, they're subject to the same madness, the same chaos because of the nature of turf sprints. So it's hard to really peg it and make the score.
I definitely understand what you're saying, and these races are difficult to ride, difficult to handicap, no doubt. I'll just put it this way. If I'm on that filly, Katie Ice, I leave the gate running, and then I'm probably laying 4th or 5th instead of 8th.
Cool.
That's the way I see it.
That's very cool.
Okay, let's same day, race 9. We had a lot of race today. Our only dirt race, and I think this was a horse, we both agree, Point Hope, number 5 in the yellow blinkers, the pink cap. Wasn't going to win the race.
No.
The best horse was the winner, It's All Relevant, who, by the way, got a 97 buyer and got a terrific ride.
I did not know that he ran that fast in this race, and it really impressed me. He looked like the favorite, not a 7-1 shot. And Mig, right now, Dylan is in the pocket right now, number 2.
Yeah, Dylan Davis under 2, It's All Relevant, in the pocket, 2 handfuls of horse. This horse is staying in the bridle, drags him into the stretch like that, and that to me is a sign of a good horse, a horse that's got bigger things to come because they keep finding air, they stay in the bridle. Now the horse outside of him, again, and we both agree, this horse wasn't going to win this race, Point Hope, but this is a difficult trip when you're just parked out 4 or 5 deep the entire race on the chase. I think we both like to see him drop down a little bit and work out a little bit of a different trip.
It's very simple, and you just said it. It's a drop and pop situation, and for me, Mig, some people maybe don't think that the speed has been, particularly in sprints for me, have been I'm not saying very speed biased, but we've seen very few horses go loop-de-doo in sprints at this meeting. In a situation like this, maybe not as pronounced, but being hung out there, and if you look at the head-on, Point Hope was just out there chasing, as you said, against horses who have some ability here.
This is a very good race, and again, the winner was sensational. I mean, watch, he's still in the bridle here.
It's amazing,
for a horse to travel that far in the bridle. One thing that I think people need to understand, conventional wisdom, people talk about Belmont, wide sweeping turns. Well, yeah, it's not so bad if you lose ground at Belmont. Not if you're wide the entire turn, because turn is so long, you're just wider longer.
Yeah.
Save ground at some point in the turn and then angle out. Yeah. Again, Point Hope in a different place. This race was too tough for him, but definitely with a different trip.
And it's so interesting to me that the low head, the action of the horse, and whenever I see a horse running with the low head, I peek at the pedigree. Am I going to see AP Indy? Am I going to see AP Indy? This time it's on the damn side.
Sure.
I just chilled saying that. I love this game. It's so interesting when you see traits from family members.
Actually, when a horse runs with their head out and down like that, they usually have a very efficient stride, a very long stride. Where's the jockey out, though? You will get so tired riding horses because the position they keep you in, out and down, they just kind of pull you up out of the saddle. They will get you tired.
So an honor code, difficult horse to ride, you think, just because of his head being low like that?
Absolutely. I think your fitness level has to be there, no doubt.
No
doubt.
Very
Let's
cool.
move on to May 22nd, another turf sprint, race 6. We're going to look at number 12, Gehrig, and I think this is a case of Kendrick Carmouche trying to do all the right things. You got a wide draw. You're getting out-footed early. Best thing you can do is try to save ground.
And that's exactly what he does. And Mick, from this, I guess when you're burdened with that post, you do the best you can, and then you need some luck. The racing, the term racing luck is legit. You can't make your own luck and fight your way through horses. He does everything right, but I just don't think he had a lot of luck from this spot on.
Well, and that's it. And you see, I can be critical of a ride if I feel like there wasn't a thought process, there wasn't a preparation involved. I will never knock a ride like this because Kendrick Carmouche tried to do everything right. He tried to save ground from a wide draw. He got inside. If he gets a break anywhere in here, he's an absolute hero. So if I'm happy with the ride up to this point, if it doesn't work out, I can't knock it.
So interesting. And it's even like Johnny V getting out in the big stake, winning on Wake Forest. He needed a little bit of luck. It was a brilliant ride, but he still needed a little bit of luck to get out. Here you see Gehrig inside, and it looks like he might have a chance to get out. But at some point, Mig, things are going to start to get a little bit tight.
Well, you know, at one point it looks like maybe the 4 chasing the Blues is going to drift off the fence. He never actually comes off the fence. 9 times out of 10, there will be a spot. This was one of those cases
where that often.
Absolutely. This is one of those cases where it did not work out. But that, I think, illustrates the difference between a bad ride and an unlucky ride. This was just unlucky. He did everything right. If I'm a trainer and my jockey rides like this, I'm going to be happy all the time. Because you know what? Even though the horse didn't have, luck and get through, it wasn't a hard race on him. It wasn't like he made a big wide run, got beat 3 lengths or 2 lengths, and is exhausted. This is a race he can rebound off of. And just to illustrate how difficult these races are, if you look at this chart, the winner wins by 3/4 length. Then it's a head, a nose, a nose, a nose, a head, a neck. You need racing luck.
Yes, the proverbial blanket finish. And, Mig, when you're a jock and you're on a horse, and I don't think it was quite the case here with Gehrig, a horse who is just, overflowing with run. Do you fight through, or you're really, you might hurt someone else, or you can get DQ'd, or do you just have to put the brakes on?
Well, every circumstance is different, and if you can make a little room, you will. At times, the prudent thing to do is put up the white flag, which we saw him do, and wait for another day. I think it's fair to say, in this case, Gehrig struck out.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Not only do you need racing luck, we also need your help. Don't forget Trips and Traps at NYRAInc.com.